Hello, Jason Meeks here. I want to follow up on a video I made just over a couple weeks back about a vision I had, a very specific vision I had. And this vision was about the date September 12th. Okay, just to recap, in the vision, I had the vision where I was looking at this black calendar, and it was the month of September, and it has the days of the month on the calendar, like a calendar. But anyway, I seen something like something I'm not even sure exactly what it was, but it was pointing to these dates. Just one by one, it was just pointing to these particular days, and it stopped and landed on Thursday, September the 12th. So for a while, once I had got that vision, I was just really just seeking the Lord for answers to why did I have that vision? What is significant about Thursday, September 12th? Okay. Initially, I felt it was something that was going to be nationally or worldwide known, something public. As opposed to my private life. But then I started wondering, well, is this something to do with my private life as the day approached? But when September 12th came, as we know, it came and went. Now we're on September 26th. I can't quite say I still know exactly why I seen that date, but I do have my assumption on why I seen that date. Okay, so first of all, what events happened on Thursday, September 12th? Okay, on that particular day, I wrote down some things here. It was a hurricane in Louisiana. I forget the name of the hurricane, but it was just a couple weeks ago. Caused a lot of power outages. Hundreds of thousands of people were left without power. There was a bomb threat in Springfield, Ohio. This came after the aftermath of the debate with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, with Trump talking about how the Haitian migrants are eating the pets in Springfield, Ohio. So the aftermath of that was this bomb threat, and that bomb threat started on that date. There was a 4.7 earthquake in Los Angeles on that date. The very first ever private spacewalk took place on that date. Putin threatened war with the West, America and its allies, if Ukraine was awarded long-range missiles. And I had a vision late at night on that date. Okay, so out of all the things that happened, there was a couple things that I read up on this list that kind of stood out to me. One was the bomb threat. For whatever reason, I know nothing actually happened, but just the threat, that bomb threat, for whatever reason, that stood out to me. And that the threat of war against America and its allies from Putin, that definitely stood out to me. And the last thing that stood out to me was this vision I had late that night. And this was, it was a dream I had. I had a vision about Taylor Swift. And then I went into a dream, which I did not remember any of the contents about the dream except for the very end. And I remember seeing the face of Kamala Harris, and I heard a voice coming out of this dream, said something like, I want to see her dead," or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what it said. Actually, I can look up here in my notes here. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it says, "I want to see her dead," and this particular voice, it was not an audible voice. There's been times where I felt that I've heard or the audible voices from the spirit realm, where I was either hearing somebody's conversation, or where I was just hearing directly in the spirit realm. Okay, this was not an audible voice, but it was something that I clearly heard, but it was more telepathic. It was spoken to me more telepathically as opposed to audibly. Okay, so that stood out to me, especially since I had that at the end of the night. So as I'm telling you here, it was a lot of different things taking place. Not one, there wasn't one specific thing that just completely just stood out. That was like, whoa, this is it. This is exactly what this vision of September 12th was about. But it was just kind of accumulation of different things happening all at the same time. Earthquake, um, this war from Putin threat, this hurricane, um, bomb threat, all this stuff happening at the same time. Okay, so with that said, this is what I believe the Lord was trying to show me with that vision. I believe the Lord was pointing September 12th down as kind of a landmark in time. And what this landmark in time is to say that from this day forward, things are about to progressively get worse and worse and worse. And I believe things, the root of a lot of this coming stuff took place on September 12th. As we see, as the last couple of weeks went through, there's been several more bomb threats in Springfield, Ohio. I believe, um, I don't know how many more days after that, but it was several bomb threats in Springfield, Ohio. Okay. We're having another hurricane, Helene, I think it's called, about to approach again the Florida coast. Um, and this thing with Putin seems to be getting progressively worse. You know, now he's being more specific. He's threatening nuclear war. I think this happened. The news broke of this just as late as last night. If you know, basically, if things get even more, you know, if I guess the UN, correct me if I'm wrong, but if the UN allows more of Ukraine's, you know, basically be more lenient towards Ukraine, that Putin is threatening with nuclear war. Okay, and this is progressing. This is a heavier threat than even back on September the 12th. Okay, and then that vision, when I saw when I heard basically the threat on Kamala Harris, like I said, I'm sorry, that dream. When I had that dream, I wasn't quite, like I said, I didn't know anything that happened in that dream. I just know I was in a dream. I knew it was serious. I just did not, when I woke up, the recollection of that dream was completely gone away. I just knew at the end I saw Kamala Harris, and I heard that voice speak telepathically, "I want to see her dead." So since then, I know there was some libertarian group or something like that basically spoke those words, something like that, kind of giving a threat about her life. There was a shooting at a Democratic office in Arizona. There was one happened prior to that. I think it was like a BB gun or something like that, but then it was actual bullets just as of, I think 2 days ago. And then, of course, we know about the second assassination attempt with Donald Trump. Okay, so it just seems like things are, since that day, things are just progressively getting worse. So I had promised that after I shared that vision, that I was going to do a follow-up video um, um, to get my take on why I saw the vision. And this is basically my take. I believe that September 12th was a landmark in time in which the Lord was saying, from this day forward, things are getting worse. And to also say, these things that you see um, taking root on this day, it's going to start to unfold into a larger scale as the time continues to go forward. One thing I forgot to mention too, like I said, a lot of this stuff is progressively getting worse. We're about to see potentially a worse hurricane hit. There was more bomb threats since then. Putin's threats is progressing, being more harsh. There's these death threats that's been progressing. You know, we saw Donald Trump's second assassination attempt. We're hearing talks about Iran trying to assassinate him, things like that. Then, of course, the shooting against Kamala Harris' Democratic office and things like that, and the threat by the Libertarian Party. But before I end this video, one thing I did share on my Instagram was, along with that death threat with Kamala Harris, I said, and or Taylor Swift, that this may happen with, that this was a targeted threat against her as well. I said, and or Taylor Swift. And the reason I said that is because I had a vision about Taylor Swift prior to going into that dream in which I saw the face of Kamala Harris. Okay, now the vision wasn't about Taylor Swift death threat or anything like that. It was completely different, or at least it seemed different. I'm not going to get into that vision on this particular video, but it seemed different. But the fact that I had that vision and then went into this dream in which I saw Kamala Harris' face, it made me think that, you know, that this death threat could extend possibly to Taylor Swift, but I wasn't 100% sure. Okay, but one thing to keep an eye on is, remember that on September 12th, we had that 4.7 earthquake in Los Angeles. Well, one of the talks in the UN is about basically dividing the land of Israel, making it a two-state solution with Israel and Palestine. And not myself, but other prophetic voices who I have much respect for have said that if that happens, if that actually takes place and becomes a thing, or if it even, you know, aggressively tries to become a thing, that the New Madrid fault is going to produce a major earthquake, one that we probably never seen in this country, that's going to basically split the United States in half, because it's right there in the Midwest. Okay, so once again, just to summarize here, I had that vision of something pointing to September 12th. I believe that was a landmark in time that says that that God was telling me to share that things were going to progressively get worse from that point forward, and to watch for these roots that started on that particular day that's have grown and probably going to continue to grow into much worse situations. Be blessed.